Okay, so like I said, in today's very class, we'll begin a new journey, the aspect of the analysis using VBA, and there are a lot of things, different kind of analysis we might want to do. So the first one we'll be looking into is in the issue of sorting data using VBA.
Okay.
So as we know, the best way we can actually practice this is when we have a good data set to be able to do that. So let me check one of the data set I have. So how our new training will be structured now is each topic, by the time we're done with each topic, I'll also give you time to practice. Okay, that way practice
No,
it, then
we have the lecture is supposed to be every Tuesday, Thursday. To practice, then Thursday will come back. When we do Thursday, Friday is enough for me to practice. So when we do Saturday, I still have Sunday and Monday to practice, you know. But the only thing I say is if you give exercise, then I'll use the exercise with the data set. Then I'll use that as practice.
Okay, sir. Okay, so let me open a particular data I think I have here. Okay, I believe you can see my screen, sir.
I can see you are trying to open the sales data, yes. This Zoom stuff, please got it so that it will clean up now. It's the Excel worksheet is behind this Zoom, that the meeting is being recorded. Click got it so that that thing will go up.
Okay.
The Zoom.
Okay, sir. I think it's out now. It's up.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
I'm still covering the.
They got it?
Okay. Click the got it so that it will.
I've done that, sir. Is it still there?
It's still there. I don't know whether it's a different system you are clicking. Because it's covering the Excel worksheet you have opened, the sales is covering that Zoom interface. So this meeting is being recorded by the host or a participant. It's still showing.
Let me.
Okay, don't worry. I think it's from my end. I've clicked it. It's out. So I can see everything now. I think it's from my laptop.
Hello, sir. Is it still there?
No, it's no longer there.
Okay. Okay. All right. So right before us here is a data set.
Yeah.
Okay, which contains this following information. So our analysis, like I said, this new aspect is going to begin with different sections that we'll be handling. So we'll start with the issue of sorting, how you can be able to sort out data using your video. And I'll make it as easy and simple as possible because, like you said, it's not supposed to be something that should be, become too complex since it's code we're writing, which is part of the same. Okay, sir. So if, for example, we have this data set and we want to sort an information from this data, okay, it could be, let's say, we want to sort in terms of the amount, we want it to be in either ascending order or descending order. So considering the fact that it is a large data set and, definitely at the end of the day, we'll run our script. So all we are just going to do from our developer tab to our Visual Basic, we'll look for that sheet that we have turned open. So this is the sheet. This is it here. But this is it. Can you see? I believe you can see my screen. Let me expand.
Yeah, I'm seeing it says sheet one, sheet one.
Okay. So, on this Project Explorer section, it's going to be the one that carries the project name. And if I navigate back, yes, sales record, that's the title for that workbook, sales record at the top. So let me go back to Visual Basic. So I'm just going to, before I do that, so since this is it, you can see it has its own folder. Okay, so all I'm going to do, I'm going to right click to write my code. So to write my code as usual, I will have to bring up the code window. So if you want to use the model method by selecting that very workbook, then go to insert and click on model. It will bring up the code window for you. If you don't want to use that way, you can just right click on the folder itself here, which is this. Okay, you can just right click on it.
Yeah, okay, that's
the sheets. Yeah, under that workbook, it has a sheet. And this is the sheet. We did not rename sheet one. So if I right click on that sheet one, since I want to write a code that is going to do the analysis on that sheet, I will right click on that sheet and select view code. So it's the same thing as selecting the. Yeah. So if I'm doing that, it brings the code window also for me, which you can see right here. So I'm going to minimize this. So this is our data set we have over here. So as usual, each time you want to write your code. Hello? Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So since we want to write this code to be able to take care of this analysis for us from this data set, okay, we are going to start with a particular command. We call it option explicit. The reason is because in this data set, there are different analysis, different criteria we might be running our analysis based on. If you look in here, you will notice that we have a column for dates, we have a column for amount. So it might be we want to sort out our data based on date. We want to sort out our data based on amount. It's just like having, there are different data sets. Could be a bank, for example, they might have the type of cash, type of payment method. They might have date, they might have transaction ID, they might have transaction type, and so on. So those are just like the different criteria, so different conditions. They might also want to do their analysis in terms of sorting out certain data to be put in order. So same way, for that sake, we'll start with option explicit because we are going to have different options. So all I'm just going to do, I'm just going to type explicit. Yes, option explicit. It's option explicit.
Because for the other one, we started with sub.
Yeah, you still enter sub. Yes, you still enter sub. Sub is the procedure, the syntax. Yeah. This one is just like, if you watch, by the time I've entered sub, okay, it's going to separate this as a separate line command. Okay, we normally call it a title command. So just, let me just enter so now, as it is now, I've already stated it that this code window is going to contain different sub options. Are you there? Based on the what I want to sort out. So to begin with, I will then use my sub.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I will then use.
So the option explicit, what was the option explicit used for?
Hello?
Yeah, the option explicit. I didn't get your explanation.
Of the option explicit?
Yes.
Okay, I said it's a command you use to, one of the things VBA does, just like SQL and other analysis, it normally reads, okay? It's normally used to read your query, you read your data, and also to query. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to indicate to the VBA. So the VBA is going to know that, yes, this is particularly what you want to do based on your statement. So it must appear when you have various, based on different criteria you want to work with, you must use it. It's just like the dim. Last time I talked about the dim that you used to declare your variable. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So it must appear in your code window before your procedure, since the analysis has different columns that you might want to sort out your data.
Okay.
It helps you declare all your variables. That's just what it does. It makes VBA to be able to declare all your variables. And it's very important here that you do that before you start using those variables.
Okay.
Are you there, sir?
I'm with you.
Okay. So at this point, we can then write the code. Normally, when you enter sub, you will still need to declare it using dim. But since you have used the option explicit, it has given that message already that all these variables, whatever I'm entering, should just go according to the analysis I want to run. So I'm just going to say sub. Now, what do I want to do? To say we are beginning with the issue of sorting. So I'll say sub sort. Now I want to sort my data. Okay, now the data I want to sort is not on any specific, let's say it's not on any specific column yet. Are you there, sir? It's like it's generally on this data set.
Yes, I'm with you. Just go.
So I will say sort on none, on none column.
Okay.
So that's just the syntax language I'm going to use because I want to sort my data on all the columns here. So I'm just going to put sort on none column. So when you're working with a data set and you want to run your analysis based on a single, maybe you want it based on a single column, the data to be sorted out based on one column to determine how others should be structured. You use this syntax, sort on column. So that's what you're going to use. And as usual, to know if this syntax is correct, when you click enter, it should bring up two brackets. So you can see two brackets pops up, meaning that it's correct. Now, we know that everything here in VBA.
Okay.
Yeah, so we know that everything here in VBA.
You said, so just a minute. The sort on none column means you want to sort on one particular column, right? Or you have not specified the column you want to sort on.
Yeah, you have not specified the column. It's just it means it's just two aspects. Are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. First is looking at the aspect of view, trying to sort based on a particular column.
Okay.
And also, you're not really specifying if it's more than one column.
Okay.
You understand, sir?
Yes.
So if, for example, let's say you have set of data you want to sort, okay, like a single column based on a particular value, like the amounts here, that's what you're going to use. And if you want to sort at the same time, you want to combine dates, amounts together, you want to use those two columns, you will not use sort on none, you use sort on more. So let's just proceed. So you just see how it's going to be used together. So these are just like the defined syntax that is to be followed. So you can be able to sort a range of data.
Okay.
See, organize and put your data in order. That's just part of what it does.
Okay.
Okay, so provided that have been done, we will now specify the range because this is a workbook. You know, we said that the VBA is an object-oriented programming language, and it has to do with more objects. Everything here referred to objects, which must be linked together. So this is a workbook that inside the workbook, within it, we have a sheet. Within that sheet, we have range of cells. So for that reason, whatever we are sorting will always be within a range.
Yes.
So we have to specify, you always start by entering the range command.
Okay.
So once you have entered it, see it already brings up how the procedure should be followed. So what is left is just for you to enter bracket open, since it's showing you that there must be a bracket to enter the range, the cell in particular, based on what you want to capture. Now, this is what you're going to do here. Since it has captured this for you, you're not going to enter the full range. For example, going to say, okay, this data begins from cell A1 to NSAT G.
G23.
You don't need to do all that. That's one of the advantage of the VBA. You don't need to do all that. All you just do, just specify this first cell where the first data set and the first data is. Once you do that, automatically it reads through. Okay, it reads through because you've already given an option that it should declare all the variables that are within that the range. So that's why we have this here. So what I'm just going to do, as usual, you always enter with your double quotes. So I'll just say the first data there is salesperson, which is the column, title column, and it's on cell A1. So I'm just going to say cell A with my double quotes. So once I have entered that, I'm going to close the bracket. You know, that's the syntax showed us to do that. So once I've done that, I will now use my object browser. Now, one thing you need to know now is this. Remember, we said that since it's VBA, you don't need to use A1 to so G23 or so points where it ends.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instead, it's two things. It's just two things that VBA demands from you each time you're running analysis on a set of data in any data set. It wants you to specify the first row, okay, the first row and column number, which we have just done. And it wants you to specify the region where the whole data set are, which is now going to sum up that, okay, this is the whole data set capturing every information. So normally here we call it current region. So it is an object browser. It's an object browser that you must browse out using the full stop button to bring that up each time you're working here. Hope we are together, sir.
I'm with you. I'm listening with rapt attention.
So
each
for
time I
that
come
reason,
by login, I'm listening seriously. I'm not playing or doing another thing.
Okay, sir. So the current region should always be used because it is an object browser which helps you to select. It just sends a message to VBA that, please, VBA, I want you to select all the cells that are contained within this range, since you want to work on this range.
Yes.
As long as you've sent that command, VBA is going to automatically automate it.
Yeah.
So if we want to do that, we'll say dots, then we'll select that very object browser called the current region.
That's current region. Range.
Yes.
A1.current region.
Current region. Going to specify. You just type it. It should come up from the list. You can see where we have current. So I'll just select current region. So just the contiguous range of data in the report. So since we have done that, specified that already, now we want to sort. So I will now put an object browser again and tell VBA what I want to do to this current set of data.
Yes.
What do I want to do? I want to sort. So I will now say sort.
Okay.
From the list, I will select sort. Now that I've selected sort, remember we said that you use the sort or none to specify or to sort based on a particular column, a single column.
Yes.
Now that I've done that, since it's based on a single column and I've already done that, now there are situations, it's important that you specify which column in particular that you want to use as a medium by which you want to, organize your data.
That's the column you want to sort on.
You want to sort.
Yes.
And here you use these statements called key. key.
Okay. Okay.
So it is that very statement you're going to use each time you want to specify the particular section or the column you want to sort.
You want to sort on.
Yes. So always know that to sort a range of cells using VBA, you need to use this sort method.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what will allow you to set a single key. You must set the single key now represents the single column.
Okay.
In most cases, you might use multiple keys for multiple columns.
Okay.
So it's just like an argument or a function. We have key 1, key 2. If it's more than one, that you know that it will definitely be increasing based on what you want to do. So going by that, I will then say key 1. That was the first. I'll say colon equal to. You always use equal to call up that very range. That's that single colon. So each time it's within a range. So I'll say a range. When I say range, if you watch, if you notice some of this syntax you're writing, by the time you've clicked on enter, it's going to change the alphabet and arrange them. Most of the letters will be in capital letters. So in situations like that, it means that you're actually correct. Okay, because if you're not correct, it's going to send you an error message, which is why we have what we call the debug. The debug. Each time you're running analysis and it's not actually giving you what you want, it's giving you an error message, you use the debug. When you use the debug has various tools that helps you. For example, the step into goes from the first. Okay, it goes from the first. It's either you're using the step into, or you can come at the end here and click on it. When you click on it, you can see it's highlighted red. Now that it is highlighted red, it's now left for you to click on your run. And by the time you click on your run, it's going to send you that message if it's correct or if it's wrong. Then you know that you can now go directly to use your debug. When you use your debug and you click on step into, it's going to show you where the error is so that you can correct it. That's just the thing it will do for you, to only show you where needs are to be adjusted. Now, as we run some of this analysis, we'll get to understand how to handle those errors. So since I'm not doing that, let me remove this. You just double click on that place to remove that very highlighted figure there. So now let's specify the first key. I said that the key stands for the column. So what's our first key? Our first key, let's say we are using amount.
Yes.
We use our bracket open. We use our double quotes. And that amount is in column E, row 1. So that's where it begins from, the title column. VBA will read everything. So let's just say double quotes, brackets close. Then we use our comma sign. Now, we want to sort out this data based on this single column. Now, what format? How do we want to, in what format do we want it to be captured? It could be you want to sort out all amounts from the highest to the lowest, or from the lowest to the highest.
That's ascending or descending.
So whenever you're doing this, you're then going to use another function we call the order. The order. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write order. I say order, the first order, based on what I want to work with. Equal to, I now have to call it out. You can see it's already customized in VBA. It's for you to now select. Do you want it to be in ascending order or in descending order? So I can now come down. So always come down and select it. Don't type it, otherwise it won't run. Come down, select it, descending order. If I want descending, if I want ascending, I have to clean it, everything here up to order, and start it again from order. Then I say colon. equal to, I can select if it's ascending I say ascending. So you can see it's not going to click. It's wrong to go and clean up to equal to here. No, you remove with the order and then start it again. So once you have done that, use your equal to sign. Hello, sir.
Wait, this the order one, there's a column equals to. Okay, you selected the X1 ascending.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You have to specify the order in which you want it to be. So if it's descending, you use the command and the function for descending. That XL, you use it for it's indicating the Excel sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it does. Because you need to define a cell whose column you want to use as a base to sort. Yes. That's how we use key. Okay. When you want to define a cell whose column you want to use as a base to sort, you use that key. But when you are using order, is when you want to define a means by which you want to sort the column. It's just like the orientation that should be part of it. So you can also define the order, either ascending or descending, in which you want to sort, and you can specify if you have a header. If you look at this now, you will notice that yes, this E1 we entered here is the header. It's not actually the data, it's the header.
Exactly.
The
I wanted to ask that E1 is a header, not the data.
Yes, sir. So you must also specify if you have a header or not. Okay. So since we have a header, I'm going to put a function called header. Okay. So things to take note of anytime you're doing any analysis that involves you sorting from a large set of data from your range. The first thing, you always know that you're going to use the range command. Yes. Okay, I'm talking about the beginning of the statement. You use the range command. As for this one,
yes, option explicit.
Yes, because it's going to help you specify
sort unknown column.
Yeah.
Then when you select the range, you must select the current region.
Okay. You type a dot. You always type a dot.
That's the object browser. Object browser will bring out all those functions. That is current region you pick. Then when you type sort, when you click again with the full stop, the object browser will bring out, you select sort.
Yes.
You are the one that type key one.
Yes, sir. You define you specify the key that you want to use to sort.
Yes.
And that's why we have key one, that the key we want to use is column. The key represents the single column. Then you define the sorting order. That's why we now have order.
Yes.
Then you now mention and let VBA know if you have a header or not.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And like I told you, if you don't want to use current region, you can use A1 to so based on where it ends. You know, we said 23, but it's more than 23. But assuming it's 23, I'll just put here column 23. Then I'll remove current region from it.
Okay, you should put A1 column G23.
23, that's the range. Yes, because we want to capture and that's why we are doing that. It begins with you specifying and using the range object. This range alone is an object browser of its own. Yes. So you use it to specify the range that you wish to sort. So if we have it like this, not using current region, but most programmers uses it this way. They just use current region directly.
Okay, yeah.
So if we are doing this, remember you have to specify if your data set contains. So I'm going to say header command. So I'm just going to put header. Now, when I put my header, always use your colon to call up. The header goes with yes or no. So I'm just going to say colon, then I say equal to, you can see it brings up the options. So at always, it should be bringing up options for you. Otherwise, the syntax means that it's not correct.
Okay.
So I'm just going to select. Can just click down arrow. I select yes. If no, I say no. So I say yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
VBA now read from the title column. So once I'm done with that, I don't need to do any other thing again. All I just have to do is just to end my the sub procedure, the function. I have to end the command with end sub.
Okay, wait, there's something. Where you have after the current region dot sort, then there is key one. Is there a space before the colon?
No, sir.
Colon
There is no
equal
space,
to
sir.
range. Is there a space between key one and no space?
No, sir.
I don't want to, because the same thing after header, there's a colon, no space between the header and colon.
Yes, sir. That's the mistake most persons do when you're writing the syntax. You don't put space.
Okay.
Even if like this salesperson now, you can see that there is space between sales and person. If I want to capture it, okay, I think that's the next thing I will show, we explain now. Because most times, instead of using the column, the column number, you can use the name.
Yes.
Okay, you can use the
title
itself. Yes, if it's amount, you can use it, but there is something you will do before you use it. There's something you will do before you use it. Yeah, I think I will talk about that now. So just to understand this, being able to just sort is just for you to, first of all, understand the sort method and understand the arguments that you want to follow. Once you understand those two things, it becomes easier. And the important arguments from what we have here, the important arguments here. So let me try to. Okay, the important argument we have here is key. First one is key, because you need to define the cell whose column you want to use as a base to sort. That's why we have the key. First argument.
Yes.
The second is order.
The order, which is whether it's ascending or descending.
Yes, in which you want to sort the column. Then the header.
Okay, then the header. Whether the data set has the worksheet has header or not.
Yes. Now,
whether that E1 is a header.
Yes. Now, sometimes you might not even need to put it. VBA can guess. Okay, VBA can guess. If you watch, when I entered header and I said column, then I said equal to, you can see where we have guess. So I can put guess. VBA will run it, because to it now it will guess. It will know through that guess. It's going to know if it has header on.
Yes.
So if you want VBA, yeah, you can do it that way. But if you know that you just want to save time, just put it. You can put it directly.
Okay.
So since this is it, we can just put our yes. You can see when I put equal to, it's not bringing it, meaning that I must clean it up to this column and put equal to be able to bring up. Then I say yes. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I have my end sub. I have my end sub. I have my end sub with it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to minimize this. Now let's look at the amount we have. You can see the amount here is 8,064. And we say ascending. So let's run this. So when I run, you see it changes from 0007714, just like that.
To 714. That's it. It's working. You see the advantage of what I was telling you. From the data set we have, as you run the VBA, we can see the result.
Yes, sir.
You don't need to start typing only 2 or 3 and waste a lot of time. That's one thing in consultancy. All these things I tell you, I've been suggesting to you. If you do them, your days will be better. You will make more money, and people applaud your class very well. Unlike when people feel they are wasting their time. Because I wonder what I'm going to learn in 2 months, ordinary VBA. It's enough for somebody to get a master's degree.
So if, for example, we wanted to do it based on the descending,
yes.
Yeah, you have to clear from the beginning here, from the end here, where we have
that's the ascending.
The header. Yeah, you clear it. There's no shortcut.
I thought we just go to where we have the ascending and now
No,
just at that point.
No, sir. To avoid syntax issues, just do it this way.
Okay. So
just do it that way.
1
Yes, sir.
equals to XL descending.
Yes, sir. So here now we just put my colon equal to, I can say descending.
Very good.
Then I use my comma.
No,
say
you
header.
are picking. No, you are selected the ascending now. You want to do descending.
Okay. Sorry. So I say colon equal to descending. My tab key, comma, header. I say colon equal to. I say yes, it has header.
Yes.
So I'm just going to run this. So let's put our eye on the amount again. You can see amount is 0000. So I'm just going to say run. So you can see it brings up all amounts from the highest down to the lowest. If I minimize this, you can see all amounts for these transactions. See to the lowest. Are you there, sir? Hello, sir. Hello, sir. So that's just how to sort. So also, going back to the Visual Basic, let's say we don't want to sort based on this range of amounts. Instead, we want to sort based on the number of boxes sold. We want to know the number of boxes sold, or in terms of the countries, the geography. All I'm going to change where we have E1 range to B1. That's where the geography, the countries are. So I'll just say B1. Then I say run. So you notice that everything is now sorted based on the countries, showing us the countries and the amounts from USA and so on. So there are also situations